Aerial coverage from Cleveland tonight provided by Goodyear. Everything we've learned making tires for confident handling inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. 1-1 between the United States and Belgium at half-time. Entertaining stuff. Belgium dominating early. United States a spirited comeback. Brad Guzan has taken over in the second half in goal from Tim Howard. So a half of action for the man who was voted the Aston Villa goalkeeper or player of the entire season, even ahead of Christian Benteke, who he's now facing in the shirt of Belgium. Eddie Johnson's on as well in place of Josie Altidore. What do you make of that? Altidore subbed at half-time. Maybe they'd planned that beforehand.
Maybe they did, but if they did not, that is extremely tough on Josie's confidence right now. That's a tough one when you haven't scored from the run of play with your new head coach, Jurgen Klinsmann. That's a tough one to come out at half. You hate that as a player.
Company bringing it forward. Lukaku with the layoff. Then Defoe helps it forward for Belgium. Lukaku again. There's a nice flow about this move, isn't there, from Belgium? De Bruyne. Too close to Brad Guzan. He'll be very thankful. Nice early, comfortable touch for him. Morales, score of the Belgian goal. Beautifully taken it was too, though the US defence could have done better. Klestjan's done okay there. How do you think he's doing tonight, Sasha Klestjan, in there?
Well, I thought it was a tough start early on trying to get into the game, and I think part of that was just the United States as a whole. But the last 20 minutes of that first half, he kept it very simple. But more importantly, it was his ball pressure in the midfield was a lot better than the beginning of the game.
I think, like the team, just grown into it a bit.
Completely.
Jurgen Klinsmann, whose record is of 47 goals for his country, could be equaled by Lukas Podolski at the weekend. He got 2 today. Now then, Lukaku! Guzan wasn't quite sure where that was heading, couldn't afford to let it go, that's for certain. It might have gone into the side netting.
This is a different look now from Belgium because Benteke is pushed forward. Now they're playing with 2 strikers. Goodson and Gonzalez have to be on the same page now. It's different. That first half, they had midfielders coming in as that second and third runners. Now they have to deal with 2 big boys up front.
They keep switching the wingers over as well, De Bruyne and Morales. Morales has now gone to the left where he usually appears for Everton. Beasley. Company goes down, wants a free kick. He's not getting it, mind you. Jermaine Jones fouls a good ball there. Nice pass for Graham Zusi on this side. Klestjan lays it back. Jones is the player being asked to sit a little deeper than Klestjan, who's got a little more license to go forward. But Jurgen Klinsmann making the point, if one goes, the other has to stay. That's a decent ball as well. Beasley couldn't bring it under control. He gets a chance for a cross, though. Third corner this for the United States. This is exactly the kind of opposition or level of opposition that the United States will have to cope with if they get.
And Ian, this little touch from Graham Zusi is because that corner flag's right on the concrete of this stadium.
Tough to take the corner kick.
It is, but it gives Graham Zusi about 2 extra yards to then put more pace on it and whip it in front of the goalkeeper.
Belgium have cleared it, and here is Morales again taking the eye. Had a bit of an injury problem in the middle of the season for Everton. Otherwise, I think his impact would have been regarded as even greater. As it was, he got 9 goals, including 2 in the final home game for David Moyes. That's Guzan's all night long, or should be, it is. Klestjan off the outside of the boot to Brad Davis. Always among the leading assists creators. That's offside this time against Eddie Johnson. Defour of Porto. He was captain at Standard Liège when he was 19 years old, so obviously a bit of a leader figure. It's quite interesting. I'm worried about the jet lag, the Belgians. The players were given space-age light-emitting luminettes for the trip over here and on the way back as well. They never give us those, do they?
I don't even know what that is.
Nor do I.
What are you talking about?
Well, exactly. It's some high-tech thing. It stops the players getting jet lag, or is supposed to anyway.
You lost me at a luminette.
Yeah, at luminettes. We might have to run a half-hour special, I think, on that to explain it all at some point. It's all part of the sophisticated preparation players get these days. Zusi. Alderweireld is saying, I think I didn't touch that, you know. Shouldn't be a United States throw, but it is. Davis looking to curl one in behind. Company's able to cut that one out. You can see the idea, though. Cameron with the interception. Good pressing here from the United States. That one's broken down, though. Klescher needs to get back because here's the counter. Maro and Fellaini.
Oh, that is great work from Jermaine Jones.
Just halted the momentum, didn't he, of the attack briefly. De Bruyne, no, not going to work.
Well, Fellaini took that extra touch, and by Jermaine Jones not giving up on the play, that now allows that back four some time to regroup.
This is only the second time in Jurgen Klinsmann's reign that a European side has faced his American team on American soil. The other time was Scotland a year ago, and the USA won 5-1. Landon Donovan got a hat-trick.
Well, I think you bring up an interesting point, though, because last year, you remember you and I were sitting in D.C. before the Brazil game, and this U.S. team looked tired. Same time as last year, they had this little 5-game spurt in 2.5, 3 weeks. I think it's going to be very interesting when this team goes down to Jamaica. Are they going to be refreshed? Or is you're going to push them a little too much going into that World Cup qualifier?
Well, that's the name of the game, isn't it, really? That these two games get them absolutely ready for that trip to Jamaica. And the points are on the line. And the games following against Panama and Honduras at home. Lukaku stuck to the task well again there, DeMarcus Beasley. He might keep that left-back position, even when Fabian Johnson's fit again. Johnson might be tried in midfield, we're hearing. Well, he's been playing for Hoffenheim more recently. Pocognoli, hooked away by Cameron. So far in the qualifying group, the United States have 4 points from 3 games. They've scored just 2 goals, but they've only let in 2 as well. Panama topping the group with Costa Rica second at the moment, but it's all extremely tight. De Bruyne. Johnson's lay back. Brad Davis looking to pick out Dempsey. Was unlikely to profit from that one. Does have that in his pocket, though, doesn't he, Davis? That ability to pick a killer pass from longer range.
Boy, he does, Ian. He's got easily the best left foot in MLS for this U.S. men's national team, but that's why I like him out there as opposed to a guy that is on the opposite side where Herculez Gomez is a right-footed player playing on the left-hand side.
What he doesn't have is pace, of course, and he would be the first to admit that. That's not his game. Defour. Back towards Christian Benteke. Very dangerous in the air. Pocognoli's done pretty well since he came on in that left-back position. Can play further forward as well. Here's Jan Vertonghen. Not accurate enough for Benteke. Must be one of the signings of the season in England, Christian Benteke. Only cost about $10 million for Villa. Here's Lukaku towards Benteke. Omar Gonzalez got the footy, but De Bruyne can bring it back again. And there, Belgium are ahead. It was a mistake, I'm afraid, by Gonzalez. And Benteke puts the ball past his Aston Villa colleague, Brad Guzan. It was a bit of a gift.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. It was a gift, Ian, and that's part of the growing pains with Omar Gonzalez. This being his 7th cap, he's done a better job in the last 10 to 15 minutes dealing with 2 forwards, but this is where, as a center back, you have to make sure you see the play through. This ball needs to be hit 30 yards, 30 rows into the crowd. No reason to try to play out here. The heavy first touch sets up De Bruyne for a simple finish for Benteke. His recovery run was fine, everything was fine, his positioning was fine, but if you are going to take a touch there, you have to be sure.
5th international goal and his 13th cap, but it was a bit of a present. Omar Gonzalez doing so well since he's come into the United States team recently, particularly at the Azteca. But I think him and Jurgen Klinsmann will regard that as a bit of a learning moment. Yeah,
and if you're going to have those, make them in friendlies.
Well, there it is, yeah.
We saw the learning moment he had in a World Cup qualifier at Honduras this year. It's okay. This is part of the growing pain of playing at the international level for Omar Gonzalez. In MLS, De Bruyne's probably not even finishing that run. There's no one there. Not at this level.
Clarence Goodson with the header. His experience and talking vital alongside Gonzalez back there. Matt Beasler is pushing him for his place a bit after his excellent efforts against Mexico away. He's on the bench tonight, by the way, Beasler. Can the US come back again? It's asking a lot. You don't often concede 2 at home and win. Or 2 anywhere and win.
No, but if you want to take a positive out of the 2 goals they've conceded, they're fixable problems. Just little things. Tracking runners, not ball watching, and then making sure your first touch is clean.
And another stern test coming up in Washington, D.C. on Sunday against the Germans. Bit of a misunderstanding there between DeMarcus Beasley and Brad Davis has allowed Alderweireld Aldin. Here's Beasley. Who's behind for a corner. Gives me a chance to tell you we've got a men's and women's national team doubleheader coming up on Sunday. The men playing Germany, that's 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, and then at 4:30 Eastern on ESPN News, the women's national team playing Canada. That's this Sunday. Can the USA drag themselves back via the aerial route again? Gonzalez was forward from the back. Kompany lays it forward to Morales. Although Vincent Kompany's made his career in England now, he's still very proud of his Belgian roots and has actually bought a 3rd division team in Belgium and rebranded them to give them new life. Brilliant. Here he is there, right on cue on the ball. Remember the other week he came back after being out with a calf injury for about a month and played for Belgium. And Roberto Mancini, the Manchester City manager at that time, of course he's gone now, was furious that he returned for Belgium before he returned for Manchester City. Kicked up a real fuss about it. 3 days later, Kompany comes back from playing for Belgium and he's in the Manchester City team as well. So
Yeah, but that's Mancini's mojo, right?
Well,
he tells Tevez off, basically, and then what?
I mean, he's saying to Company there, Company said to him, I'm fit, I played. So I don't know what that fuss was about, really. Here's Omar Gonzalez. He's got to put that little error behind him. Get on with it. Still only his 7th cap. It's worth reminding ourselves of that.
On 5 of those 7 caps, he's have a different partner at center back. You know, you heard Alexi talk about it at halftime about continuity at center back. I think that's a big one for Omar Gonzalez. And it's very important for Omar to succeed that he has the right partner. We've seen in MLS his college buddy in AJ De La Garza. We saw him with Matt Beasler, Clarence Goodson. It's very important to complement Omar Gonzalez at center back in order for him to succeed.
To do with that consistency, Goodson is the man in possession at the moment. To pull out injured on the day, didn't he, or the day before for that Mexico game, which is why Beasler played. Couple of self-inflicted wounds a little bit here for the US. 2-1 behind, but not doing too badly in the game. Here's Jermaine Jones, the Schalke side doing well again in Germany this season, finishing 4th. Don't forget that aerial coverage of the game tonight provided by Goodyear. Everything we've learned making tyres for confident handling inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. And that's the pictures that they're bringing you from the First Energy Stadium in Cleveland.
So you going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tomorrow? Or what?
Yeah, I'm going to be down there. They've got a special Rolling Stones section I'll be looking at. I'm told it's good by all you fellas, so it better be.
I'm the worst person to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with. Is Big Red taking you or no?
No, I think he's on the plane to Washington straight away. So could be good. Terence Boyd's coming on here. Young striker to replace Brad Davis. A substitution fueled by Gatorade. Terence Boyd on for Brad Davis, and he's done ever so well in Austria, where he's been playing for Rapid Vienna, scoring 13 league goals this season, helping his side to qualify for the Europa League next season.
Yep, he'll go play up front, and then Eddie Johnson will move wide left. Very similar to the World Cup qualifier in Kansas City against Guatemala.
Lukaku in behind here. Oh, got in a good shot as well. Guzan quite happy to help that one behind, but there's the speed and power of Romelu Lukaku.
He's just a complete package. He really is. Playing off the back shoulder of Clarence Goodson, and that little tug's not going to knock him off the ball.
Goodson tried to pull him back, but to no avail. It's might as well try to tug back a steam train with a bit of string. De Bruyne's going to take this. Up go the heads, including Fellaini. He didn't get there. It's good in the air. De Bruyne with another good-looking ball. There is Fellaini. And the Belgians score again. The aerial threat, great header, 3-1 Belgium.
And it's just extremely difficult when you come into the game as a substitute to get right into the game. But this is a little thing. Now watch this ball as it's cleared. Terence Boyd's #1 job is to keep possession. He cannot lose the ball that easy, because now Belgium's on the upper hand. Belgium has the upper hand because your back line's pushing forward, and that is an easy finish for Fellaini on the back post. It's a difficult task to come into this game and get into the flow of the game, but it's a little thing that Terence Boyd has to realize. His job there is to keep possession.
And the Belgians make the US pay again. 6th international goal that for Fellaini. As I was saying, he's good in the air. particularly if you give him that amount of space. School of hard knocks a little here for the US tonight. Seem to be doing and holding their own okay in the game until a few minutes ago, but 2 quick strikes by the Belgians have changed all that. Beasley got the better of Defoe. Can they get this right? Here's Eddie Johnson. Gets the corner kick. It's the 5th one the United States have forced. Both Goodson and Gonzalez are up there. Very good catch by Mignolet. He's had a great season for Sunderland, and he's looking to get the counter-attack. It was great goalkeeping by him. He saw De Bruyne. That's clearly a foul. There are only a few thousand witnesses, don't worry. Just been a little naive at times tonight, possibly, the USA. There's the Seattle Sounders man, Eddie Johnson. It's an interesting ball in.
Well, and for 67 minutes, Belgium's been defending a guy in Brad Davis who's all left-footed. I love this. I love this ball from Eddie Johnson. You know, you're coming in, now you come in as a sub. Listen, you're not going to put any pressure on the ball. That's fine. That's a great ball in for Terrence Boyd to get on the end of.
It was a little teaser, wasn't it, that, from Johnson? Dries Mertens coming on here to replace De Bruyne. De Bruyne with 2 assists on the night. When these two sides met in Jurgen Klinsmann's 3rd game as the US coach in Brussels, Mertens had a particularly good game. Diminutive little figure, but a good creator and a scorer of a fair few goals as well. Company's caught there by Boyd. Ball had not gone outside the penalty area. And then it's rolling, so Costa Rican official Jeffrey Solis wants it retaken.
Does this ball leave?
No, it doesn't leave the penalty area. No, he made sure it didn't because there was a player coming in on him, and you can do that, of course. Maybe there should be some legislation about that. As it was, Company knew full well he could just stop the ball, and they'd have to retake the goal kick. Jermaine Jones helps it forward. Eddie Johnson, his DeMarcus Beasley now for the United States. A couple of changes going on here. Brad Evans is going to come on for Graham Zusi. And we're going to see Matt Beasley move into the defence as well in place of Clarence Goodson. Evans, who plays for Seattle Sounders, 8th cap for him. He did start the January friendly this year against Canada.
And I think he's someone to look at going into that Gold Cup. Will be a big part of that roster.
Might be something of a shadow squad because of the number of commitments in the World Cup this year. Here's Morales again. Got away from Omar Gonzalez. Always a clever piece of play. They nearly got Mertens in. Really terrific stuff again from Morales there. He is so quick. I have to say, it would be a shame if this Belgian side don't make it to the World Cup finals.
I agree.
It'd be good to see that, how they'd cope with the conditions in Brazil and the competition.
Well, especially because it looks like they're set up for something not just for 4 years. It's a young team.
But as we were saying, it's by no means a certainty that they'll qualify automatically. Defour, what a ball that is to Benteke! It's another one! It's 4! Brilliantly done! Defour's pass was a thing of beauty, and Benteke scores his second.
And what did we talk about in the pregame? We talked about when you want to play a high line, you have to have ball pressure in the midfield. And that is not going to make Jurgen Klinsmann extremely happy on this. This is too easy. There's no ball pressure from Jermaine Jones. And then Benteke makes the perfect run. He's looking right across that line, sees Beasley, sees Gonzalez, sees Cameron. It's an easy run. But that's 45 yards from your goal. No ball pressure whatsoever from the midfield.
Guillaume Gillet's come on, the latest substitution, and Benteke, 2 more goals tonight, 2 in 15 minutes he scored now. Beautifully taken, lovely ball from Steven Defour to set that up as well.
I just love the run, because how often do you see forwards a little over anxious, just too anxious to get in behind so they're offside? He times it perfectly.
So Gillet comes on. Company will be rested, ready for the Serbia game. And you have to fancy Belgium in that game, wouldn't you, at home to the Serbians? They're usually quite a tough nut, but are getting blown away in that really big group with Croatia and Israel. Croatia, very good side, matching the Belgians point for point in it. I think bottom line here, Belgium have proved just a little bit too good for the USA here tonight. Some clinical finishing. Of course, there might be some people who will say, get a heavy defeat here, and if Germany do something similar,
well, that's the risk,
was that the best preparation mentally to go into 3 big World Cup qualifiers? I suppose there's 2 ways of looking, having stiff games. One's a little harsh on the US. There are those games coming up, the Germany game, then away to Jamaica, home to Panama, home to Honduras. Crunch time.
Well, and you said it in the first half. The home World Cup qualifying record in the last 23 games, the U.S. is 21-0-2.
Yeah.
So that Panama-Honduras game, that's 6 points is a must.
The good news from the United States point of view is they won't have to play any team with the quality of Belgium in that CONCACAF group. They're ranked number 15 in the world. They've gone up about 25 places in the last year or so, Belgium.
Yeah, but those rankings are they're ridiculous. What's Ecuador, 10?
Yes.
Yeah, they look like it today.
They'll say it was a friendly. They came back all right. And they're probably going to qualify for the World Cup.
Well, going into the 2006 World Cup, the United States was ranked 5th or 6th, so...
Spain 1, Germany 2. Any arguments there, Taylor?
No.
Generally, I agree with you, though. Sometimes they almost read like a work of fiction. The USA, by the way, 33 at the moment. Let's see who qualifies for the World Cup, and let's see how the World Cup goes. That's the way the hex stands at the moment. The final qualifying group, the top 3 go through to the World Cup finals in Brazil. The 4th team will be in a playoff with New Zealand. As you can see, the whole group is separated by only 3 points.
You just have a feeling, though, on June 18th and 19th, that's going to look a lot different after the next 3 World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is the United States go to Jamaica on the 7th of June, but 3 days before that, Jamaica have got to play Mexico at home as well. So that might be quite a good time to play them. We'll see. Could be a little bit of an advantage for the US in that. Or maybe not.
Yeah. Jamaica's one of those games you try to go down there and get a point. It's like playing on a parking lot. There's no grass on the field. It's a different environment. difficult environment. It's just tough.
Chile was trying to cause some havoc there. It's behind for a corner. And now DeMarcus Beasley is down there in some pain. Might not remember his 100th cap too fondly. Did well there too. Fell awkwardly. Don't want any injuries, of course, with all these big games coming up. He punched the turf. He's had happier moments in the game than this, of course.
Yeah, and obviously the scoreline's difficult in your 100th cap, but I think DeMarcus Beasley over the last 2 or 3 games has shown his ability to be a better one-on-one defender than he was early on in his career. Part of that is his recovery speed, but also I think his commitment to play left back for the team. No ego whatsoever. He stepped into that position, done fine.
Belgium looking to really rub it in here, really. Timmy Simons has come on, by the way, to replace Stephen Defoe. Looks like Beasley's going to be okay again. He's still very fit at the age of 31. Plays in Mexico for Puebla. Bit of thinking, though, for Jurgen Klinsmann to do. More defending to do here. It's a bit of a wake-up call after the clean sheet in the Azteca. Mexico haven't scored in the Hex yet. Yes. What odds would you have got on that?
Well, we also have to keep in mind, though, you know, Michael Bradley's coming, Fabian Johnson's coming back. Not everybody's here.
Simon's got a yellow card, I think, straight away. Looked like him, the referee was waving the card at. Veteran campaigner, 36, been a brilliant professional. He has the Champions League play in his time with PSV Eindhoven. He's now with Nuremberg in the Bundesliga. Johnson to head it back. Dempsey goes down. Referee's happy enough about that. Nothing given. Little flick there from Lukaku. They really do have some live wires in the side. It's nicely done by DeMarcus Beasley. Now it's Eddie Johnson. Oh, he tried to find Boyd, who'd pulled into some space. And wow, he's given a penalty, hasn't he? Yep, he has. Hand.
That's a tough one, Ian.
He's given it. Alderweireld is continuing the protest.
Well, and Eddie Johnson does a good job of just taking them on with speed. Now that's less of a handball than DeMarcus Beasley in the first half.
Yeah, that looks like ball.
That's not a handball to me.
Not really.
That's ball to hand.
No, he doesn't move his hand anywhere towards the ball at all. Clint Dempsey's going to take it. Belgium continue with the protest, but the Costa Rican referee saw what he saw. I don't think he saw the other one. And Dempsey continues here with a chance to carry on with his scoring streak. And does so too. 4-2. Clint Dempsey again. Looked a little harsh. But the USA will take that rather more respectable look to the scoreline.
Yeah, and any surprise that Clint Dempsey, the moment the handball is called, he's running over there, grabbing the ball. Full of confidence. This is a harsh handball for me. That arm is inside. There is no doubt about that man right now wanting the ball, wanting to score anything possible.
33 goals. He needs one more to go joint second on the all-time list with Eric Winalda. And this is a moment to savour the return of Stuart Holden, who hasn't appeared for the USA since late in 2010 against Colombia. In the interim, it looked like his career might be over. 3 operations, all kinds of knee trouble. He's still very much making his way back, but it's a huge, huge moment in his recovery program to step out there for the USA again. You can only wish him well, Taylor.
I mean, is there anything better when you've seen the struggles of someone over 2 years to finally get rewards for that? Not to mention, if he returns to form, that's an X factor we haven't seen under Jurgen for 2 years.
There's still time, isn't there?
Plenty.
World Cup's a year away. He'll have a full pre-season with Bolton Wanderers, whose manager, Dougie Freedman, has been talking a lot to Jurgen Klinsmann about the recovery program. I think he's very, very happy, the Bolton manager, that he's getting this month with the US team, building up his fitness. Then he'll have pre-season. So who knows where the story will go next season.
Well, and I think US soccer fans, Ian, are a little reserved. You know, they saw the comeback of Charlie Davies not mount out to what he once was. I think they're a little reserved to see what Stuart Holden comes back this year. But all summer long, he's going to be with Jurgen and the boys.
Lovely ball, Jermaine Jones to Eddie Johnson. Oh, and Boyd couldn't quite reach it. And then it's turned over. That could have been 4-3. Good attack from the US. Painful. Brad Evans, it was, arriving, and is nearly, his first touch was, of course, a great ball from Jermaine Jones to start this.
And even a better run from Eddie Johnson. He's come in and tested that back line.
Good move. It was just a bit too narrow an angle, and then he's crashed into the hoardings with his head, I think, Brad Evans there. Happily he's okay. Showing a bit of character again here, the United States. Threatened to become a big drubbing. Holden's ball asking quite a bit of Evans, but he kept it in play. Beasley's header forward. Apparently the stats prove that Matt Beasley is the fastest player in the squad.
I think I'm going to ask for proof of that.
you might not get it.
Yeah, but we saw it against Mexico and Azteca, though. Chicharito at times got in behind. He was able to recover.
A player who's broken through recently. Belgians will have half a mind on getting out of here with no further injury concerns. Remember, they've had to take off Bamal and Dembele tonight. We're not sure the extent of any injuries they might have picked up. Neither look that serious. Precautionary, probably, but we'll hear more. Simons. Torgan Hazard has come on, the twin brother of the more famous Eden of Chelsea. She was transferred around the same time to Stamford Bridge, but never broke through there. Here's Morales. Chile's cross wasn't the most convincing one, and it's away by DeMarcus Beasley. Pocognoli, you have to come on early. Oh, here's another chance here. Is it a hat-trick coming up for Benteke? It looked like a penalty, maybe, with the challenge from Beasley. The play goes on, though. Could have been a spot kick. Interesting to look at that again.
I mean, Benteke is a handful.
Well, he was in. Now, was he fouled by Beasley here?
Look how just big, strong, and a quick turn. Beasley comes in late here and from behind. I don't know if he gets the ball or not. Ball first. I mean, for me, that's, I don't know. It's close. I wouldn't have had a problem if he did call a penalty in.
There wasn't a lot of contact with Benteke,
No.
was there, either?
I'm actually okay with that call, to be honest.
It might have been a great decision. The other thing, of course, is had he given it as a foul, he might have had to produce a red card as well for denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. More treatment for Beasley. He's certainly having an eventful night, one way and another. Pre-match presentation. It's an interesting conversation we were asking about when he was first asked to play at left back. He said, you know, how did the discussion go with the coach? He said, just 10 seconds. You're playing left back, he said. Okay, yeah, okay. That was it.
But Beasley's been that way his whole career.
Yes, great attitude. Team-minded. I think Jurgen Klinsmann will want to see a few less giveaways, won't he, against Germany on Sunday. Could be equally tough, mind you. More good players is Mertens, robbed by Jermaine Jones, who's got in a lot of important interceptions in there tonight. He's just been caught. Stays down, Jones.
But Ian, you bring up Jurgen Klinsmann. I know what my first question would be in the press conference is, where's Josie Altidore right now? The entire second half since the sub, we haven't seen Josie Altidore anywhere near the bench. Is he out with an injury? That's big news if he's out with an injury.
Well, we'll find out. Don't think there was. You never know with these friendlies whether it was all pre-planned that way. But,
well, he could be inside doing regeneration stuff.
Yeah.
But still, the game's going on. You kind of want to be out here for your teammates. Everyone else is.
Date for your diary, Tuesday, June the 11th. ESPN has a couple of crucial World Cup qualifiers kicking off 7:30 Eastern when Mexico meet Costa Rica from the Azteca. That'll be live. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, USA against Panama amid a terrific atmosphere in Seattle. Jurgen Klinsmann's had a rather concerned look on his face during this second half. He can't have liked everything he's seen from his side tonight.
Well, anytime you give up 4 goals,
Yeah.
but it's how they've given up the 4 goals that's more concerning.
Brazil put 4 past the USA, didn't they, in a friendly, but it's very rarely happened in the Jurgen Klinsmann era. Been taken to school a little bit, once or twice back there.
It's a big concern of mine, Ian. You know, last year we looked at how they did against Scotland. Yeah, okay, they won against Scotland, but that team was on vacation. They went to Canada, tied 0-0. They didn't play well against Brazil. Yeah, they played okay against Antigua Barbuda and then went to Guatemala, but they looked tired. You know, a lot of these guys are coming off their club season, so it's going to be very interesting over the next 2 weeks how hungry they are and how fit they are and fresh.
Morales again. It's very, very hard to pin him down. Prolific scorer in his Olympiacos days, as Jermaine Jones has picked up a yellow card.
I thought we would get through 90 minutes of Jermaine Jones not having a silly tackle.
He's battled away pretty well in there, though, hasn't he, most of the night?
Yes, but there's one thing that concerns you about Jermaine Jones. He has that one lapse of judgment. I mean, that tackle's from behind.
Beasley helps it forward. Dempsey goes down, surely a foul by Fellaini there. Routine free kick, no more. Dempsey stays on the floor. Everything's a concern, really, when it comes to injuries with big games coming up. He's the last player the USA would want to lose for any reason.
It takes a lot to keep Clint Dempsey down, I'll tell you that much. Just looked like Fellaini stepped on him right before he tried to explode out of that turn.
Limps away. He's making that point to the exactly that point to the referee. He thinks there might have been a little malpractice going on there, whether Fellaini just was a little naughty. Jones. Gonzalez to Holden. Ocagnoli gets it away. Beasler showing that pace we were talking about. Not many beat Benteke in a foot race. He did have a little start, mind you.
Only 10 yards.
He won by 10 as well. There's Eddie Johnson on the chase. Something of a reality check tonight, Taylor?
Yeah, and I'm shaking my head a little bit because Sunday's going to be another one. You know, a lot of us this morning at breakfast were talking about the roster of Germany. Well, this is their B or C team. Well, the game against Ecuador today, that's not their C team.
No. Still a very, very useful squad of players. And by the way, Miroslav Klose is going to be playing as well on Sunday. He wasn't playing today. Germans were 4-0 up in 23 minutes. They took the lead after 9 seconds with the fastest goal they've ever scored in their history by Lukas Podolski. He's not a C-team player either, by the way. Belgium will go back to their big World Cup qualifier at home to Serbia on the 7th of June. Decent frame of mind, in pretty good shape. They've lost very rarely under Mark Wilmots, only the once, and that was away to England. 1-0 at Wembley about a year or so back. They have an awful lot of very good footballers. I think you've seen that tonight. Always looked a tough game, and it's proved exactly that. Mertens. This is Belgium without Eden Hazard.
Exactly.
Who's their top player. See any weaknesses at all about them?
Who, Belgium?
Yeah.
No. I mean, are you surprised they've only given up 1 goal in World Cup qualifying?
Exactly.
But in saying that, we also have to be fair and balanced. The U.S. did have their opportunities late in the first half and in the second half, but too many individual mistakes cost them the night.
Yeah, defensive frailties exposed notably by Christian Benteke, who scored 2 goals in the second half as Belgium rather run away with it. Went 4-1 ahead, but then a Clint Dempsey penalty. There he is with his Spurs teammate, Jan Vertonghen. 4-2 then on the night to Belgium. USA will go off to Washington, D.C. And that's the story from here. We'll have more reflections in just a moment, but it's United States 2, Belgium 4 in Cleveland. Coming up on Sunday, it's a US men's and women's national team doubleheader in celebration of 100 years of US soccer. First, the US men's team faces Germany live from RFK Stadium. Coverage beginning at 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Then at 4:30 Eastern on ESPN News, the US women's national team takes on their rival, Canada. Let's take a look now at tonight's good hand save, brought to you by Allstate.
Very similar to the first goal the United States gave up to Belgium, but Tim Howard does a good job of coming off his line and making sure he cleans the play up.
But the US did concede 4 goals. Any pluses for you, Taylor?
It's a friendly. It's a friendly. And that's very important. They get a chance to correct a lot of their problems Sunday. But all that's important is June 7th.
That's when they played Jamaica away from home. Coming up next, baseball tonight for Taylor Twarman and Alexi Lalas. I'm Ian Dark. And once again, our final score here in Cleveland tonight at the First Energy Stadium. Belgium beating the United States by 4-2. From us all here, a very good night. This has been a presentation of ESPN.